How are you?
I'm fine, honey. Thank you. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you.
Sure. Let's start then. Things are. So we stopped probably functions, right? Yeah, functions. We have seen default arguments as well. So now we have to see return statement and functions. Okay. So so far clear, or you have any doubts? By end of the class, Shiva will be sharing you all the notes and PPT. Okay. For PPT for Python and notes for Unix, he'll be sharing you. Okay. Have any doubts so far? If you don't speak, then I'll think that everyone is clear.
Good, Spandana.
Yeah, it's good. No.
No, we don't have no doubts.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Chalo, we go ahead. Show return statement. So the statement return exits a function, okay? Optionally passing back an expression to the caller. A return statement with no arguments is same as return none, okay? So what is the return statement actually going to do? When you give a return, what does it actually do is within a function anywhere if return is specified, it means that it is the end of that function. So means it will exit from that function and return back control to the calling to the caller actually. So this is the called function and this is the calling step and this is the called function, right? So here I'm saying sum is equal sum 10 comma 20. So I'm calling a function here, right? This is a function call and this is the call. This is a function which is actually called using this function call. Whenever a return statement is encountered, this control is going back to the calling going back to the calling point from where the call has function call has occurred. It will go back to the function call there only. So now I'll ask it to return something. Yes, it will take that value and return it back to the function. If there is nothing returned, then it is nothing but return none, which just simply exits from this function and returns control back over here. Okay. So this why we are using a return statement is, so let's say I'm doing some operation here. So let's say it's addition only, but it might be a small operation, or I'm trying to fetch data from one function to another function. I want to pass data from there to something else. So from this return actually pass whatever value of total is there. Where is the value of total with respect to this? Now there is something called as a variable. Okay, so let's speak a bit about variables. So variable declare inside a function has a scope inside this function only. Variable declared outside, which is in this line, okay, that is outside. Let's speak with respect to indentation. This declared just outside like this has a scope variably, which globally, which means that this can be accessed from anywhere in a program. If you write it over here somewhere at the top, somewhere you have written this variable here, it should be accessed inside as well. It should be accessed outside. Anywhere it should be accessible. But whatever variable you are writing inside a function has a limited scope. It is limited to that function, to that class, or something. It's limited to that specific thing. Okay. So now if you want to access it outside, it is not possible. So now without passing total, if I ask to print total, it will not print it. It will not print it. So why is it not going to print it? So now here I'm seeing return total. So 10 comma 20, sum of 10 comma 20 is actually calling this. Okay. So when I'm seeing return 20, return total, it will return 30. So let's say I'm not doing something like this. Right then, just printed it. So there is a print statement outside. Let's comment this. See, when I run it, it says it is saying inside function that cat. It says it has gone to the function and it said printed inside the function, and what is the total value it has printed. So it has printed it as 10 plus 20, 30. Okay. So now I reset return total. Okay. Name error. Name total. See here now, what is it trying to print? It is, there is no problem with return total also. It didn't give any problem there. But it has gone to the 10th line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Line number 10 saying what? Name total is not defined. Name total is not defined. Print outside the function total in this line. Total is not defined. So when saying total is not defined, but you can say in Spandana total is there inside. Why is it saying it's not defined? Its scope is limited to this function. It is not accessible outside this function. So in this scenario, it is printed inside the function, and again I have called it second time. I've called it second time. Okay, I uncommented it, right? So it again printed inside the function, and then it came out and it started printed outside the function, and now total is there. So whatever value you want to pass, you can pass it from your function call. It can be passed back to from the called function. It could be passed back to the function call. Okay, so that's all about return statement. So a return without nothing. We'll see different types. Return. It is not returning anything. It's just a simple return. So see what it did print. Inside the function, yes. Inside the function, again second time it is printed for this line. Print outside the function, The other time when I returned, okay, when I removed the return statement, okay, when I removed the return statement, what happened? It said name total is not defined, right? When I removed the return statement, it says name total not defined. Or when I just commented total, but here it is not the scenario. Outside the function, what did it print? It is printed none. When you don't return anything with return, it considers it as none. Okay, so what is the value of total now? It is none, right? It is not passing back any arguments, so it is saying that it is returned none. Okay. For returning more than one value, we need comma. We'll see this pattern also in Go. See, what step? Okay, so what is happening? Cat hyphen b. Okay. It says there's only one function call. So called sum of 10, 20. It has gone inside the function. It says inside the function, what is the value? 30. So it has come out of the function and is printed 30. And I asked it to print argument 1 also. But argument 1 is defined inside this. So the scope is limited to this. So how am I getting a chance to print it? Because I passed another argument along with total over here, and I'm receiving it. Whatever I'm trying to pass from there should be specified here, even the left hand side. If it is passed and it is not specified here, then into which variable will it write? It will again throw an exception saying that passed two of the variables, and it is able to catch only one over here. Okay, so when I said print arg1, it has printed value of arg1, which is nothing but 10. Okay. Modules. So modules. So Python has a different concept called as modules when compared to other programming languages. So what is a module? What is it all speaking about, and why do we need it? Okay. So what is a module? In brief, if I say a Python module is nothing but a file which has a set of functions grouped together. Okay, so that is what module is exactly. So let's see what all been written here. A module is a file containing Python definitions and statements. The file name is the module name with the suffix .py appended. Okay, so the file name is nothing but the module name itself is the file name with the .py extension. Okay. As for the program gets longer, you may want to split it into several files for easier maintenance. You may also want to use a handy function that you have written in several programs without copying into definitions into each program. Okay. So let me just read. I'll tell you. To support this, Python has a way to put definitions in a file. Okay. So what is it all speaking about? I've read and I don't know how many of you have understood it. So let me come back and explain it. So I told you it is nothing but few Python definitions and statements. So where are we trying to what are we trying to define? Well, we are trying to define a function. So inside a function and few set of statements in that function in a file name. Okay. So now let's say you have a program. Okay. So you're working on an application and you have a program. Obviously we do have codes. Okay. So this application code is around 5,000 lines of this file is having a 5,000 line of code. Okay. So whenever some issue is coming or something is happening, all the probably there's the issue coming up with 10th line of the file, which is exiting the file from without executing the rest of one scenario. Or else let's say it is difficult for you to find, look into the file, fix the issues because the file is too long and two of you, let's say if at all just say let's change a variable name from var1 to var10. Okay, simple. So there's a 5,000 lines of code and it is repeated 500 times and your manager doesn't want you to replace with using a set or something, but he wants you to log in manually, check whether this variable where is it and just try to change it manually. Okay, so 500 places, it would almost eat your half day searching for this and then changing it, right? Changing it appropriately, and again you have to check the functionality. Fine. So now let's say two of your friends want to make changes. You thought, hey, it's taking a long time, so let's two of us sit together and do it. So you'll open one version, he'll open one version, and finally when I don't know if you have opened two different sessions anytime and tried to open a same file, the other one says that file is already in a open mode, is already open for editing. So do you want to open it in a read mode or override changes and open it afresh again? So if I open it in read mode, no problem. But if I open it again in write mode, whatever changes the first person has done will not be reflected in my file, or in simple, whatever file I open now, if I save that copy, that will be saved. You open the file, if you save that will be saved. But two changes will not be merged together and saved. So how to resolve this? Okay, so simple, open a file. Okay, just trying to split your code based on the functions. You want to split your code into 2 or 3 separate files which is having 2,500 or 1,500 lines each. So it is easy to divide code into 3 separate files, so that 3 of you can now sit together and start making changes. Okay, I just gave you an example of just a replacement. So whatever. So, and another thing, let's see. So this particular set of code about which we are speaking is used by different is used by different function different line places of a code. So now there are few set of functions. Okay, so let's say simply there is a function to read values. Simple. So every time you have to read values within this file, you're just calling off this function. Fine. So but you have written another file. Okay, this is one file, 1.py. Okay, there's some file 2.py. Let's say think. So 2.py also, obviously you want to read some data from 2.py. Either you have to define a function again there and try to use it. Okay, you give a call or write the logic once again for everything. Rather than writing a function, write the logic. So you're defining a function here once, you're defining a function there once, another file is there, you want to define a function there also once. Okay, so it is like this. So how many times a function is defined within just your small application? It is defined 4 or 5 times different files. Rather, if there is a way in which this function could be defined in one file and can be just imported in 4 other files. That is the most easiest one, that is the most effective one, not easiest, but the most effective and efficient one, which makes that your code is not duplicated, and your code is probably what do you say, reusable, which makes your code more reusable. Okay, so it says that, hey, I have defined a function only once now, and it can be used for next 4 or 5 times continuously without me writing a new one. So where am I going to place this function now? I'm going to place it in a module and try to import this. Okay, so all the time I'm writing print, so it is not, the print is nothing but a default module inside Python which we are trying to use it. I didn't define print definition anywhere in starting of my file saying print. Okay, take this whatever it asks in double quotes and print it. Take this whatever it gives in dollar and just try to print it. I didn't write it functionality, but I'm trying to use it only, which means that I'm a user. I'm using a print module. Okay, so now let's get back to the slide and see what's happening. Chalo. Python has a way to put the definitions in a file and use them in a script or in an interactive instance of the interpreter. Such a file is called as a module. Definition from a module can be imported into other modules or into the main module. Okay, so define print function of parameter. Print hello, comma parameter. Okay, so just one which I'm just trying to tell you. Okay, so let's say import statements. You can use any Python source file as a module by executing an import statement in some other Python source file. The import has the following syntax. Okay, so syntax is import module. You can import multiple modules at a time. So I'm saying import module. Okay, so how am I going to write it in a Python program? So as soon as my first line hash not slash user slash malicious Python, I have to write, it can be written anywhere, even import support or import some module. Okay, so now you can call this define function, define module inside your same function. You can use support.print underscore function Zara. Okay, let's see what is happening. Then first let me explain so that you'll get an understanding. So vi support.py. So actually the name with which I'm saving a file is nothing but, this support is nothing but my module name with which I'm saving my file is nothing but a module. I didn't write any hash nots and nothing I have written. It's not something to be executed. Okay. So here I've written a function. I've defined a function inside it saying print underscore function is the function. Okay. So print underscore function and one parameter is passed to it. Okay. That is par, let's say. Hello print hello colon whatever I want to print. Okay. So usually if I want to print par means it will directly print it. Okay. So now I just said print a hello and then par. Okay. And I said after that return back. Return none, which means, right? So cat test.py. And I said test.py. In this I have written this line, which is hash not slash user slash page slash python. So I'm running this file now. When I'm executing this file. So what am I writing inside this file is I said import support. Where will it go? Just a step back and says where is it? So import support. It has imported this support now inside. So I said, and now how are you going to call a function inside a module? Module dot the function name. So what is the module name? Support dot, what is the function name? Print underscore function of. And what is the parameter you're passing it? Zara. So it will go inside this actual support.py and print and it will go to this function print dot function. It will call along with, and what's the value passed is Zara. So it will come here and print Zara and then return. Okay. So that's the reason why it is printed Zara. Okay. So it's a simple Python module. So let's see one example, a better one probably. Another thing, all the definitions given inside a function inside a file need not be called in the same place. It can be called anywhere. Okay. So now what am I trying to do exactly is I'm trying to write a new function. Okay, sorry, write a new function inside support.py, which is nothing but some even function. If I say now I say that, so if a percentage 2 is equals to 0, okay, so then go ahead and go ahead and print it is even number. is odd number, even underscore function is a name. VI, let's say, I have to tell you one more thing. Perspective details. Let's write it off first, then I'll speak about it. Insert support dot even underscore function. It need not be underscore function. I've just given it just like that, just to follow it in a specific part. Okay. There you go. Why didn't go supported even underscore function? Didn't call it. I'm going to apply support.py even underscore function. Let's see what's going inside of one first. It's gone inside. Oh, fine. So another thing I didn't work out is not doing it. First equals, it's not double equals to, it's double equals to, right? Confused with all of that. First equals to only. Doesn't need a space or something. Escape Q. Escape column Q not. So before I proceed, I mean, before I complete that, I want to tell you something. There is a .pyc file generated here. First, we'll speak about .pyc and see, because again it will get changed. No? So here there is some file. I created support.py and I created test.py. So what is this pyc? I did create this .pyc file. But what is this pyc file? Just having some value. We don't know what it is even. Okay. So now, what is it speaking about? This pyc file. It says that it is importing something. So there is a module support.py from where it is actually importing something and trying to do some operation on the imported data. So what is this pyc is a, whenever this Python module is executed, it makes a copy of a Python module with .pyc extension. Okay. So why does it make it as a .pyc is nothing but it is having a some checksum. It is having, let's say probably it is having some value. So whenever so now you have made some changes to the file and you're trying to execute it. So this .pyc file will be updated. But when you don't make any change to your code, but you want to run it once again, so it will not go ahead and run entire program once again. But what will it do is it just checks first whether there is any change in the program. If there is any change in a program, it will go ahead and run. It finds that there is no change in the program which is written. Okay. So but it's just a function call which is happening another time. So in that scenario, it actually uses the compiled format, the .pyc, and starts using the module, which reduces the compilation time and makes the time required to process, which will be the time which is required to process, which will reduce. So in such a small applications, we don't find it much useful. But when you go to a long applications, compilation would take lengthy and heavy application. It would take more time. Okay, so to reduce that time, it actually Python uses a .pyc file rather than just going ahead and directly compiling it. Okay. So now, how can we use Python from here? So type Python, it will take me to a IDE. So now, rather than creating a file, you can write whatever you want to do over here only. Okay. What did I write here? It's working. No? Control D to exit from there. It's going inside the Is it not checking? The loop only. Chalo. Okay. A equals to 0. Yes. So just remember. Yes. Send something. Is it not going inside the loop? It is. Ayo. Okay. See? No one even tried to tell me, Spandana, this is a mistake. Huh? How will it print without giving a print statement? I was trying to modify the logic, thinking, probably it's not taking it this way or something. Let's just leave it like that. That's the reason why it wasn't printing. Yep. So I've just written a function, okay. So whatever value is passed here, it is divided by 2, and if that is equals to 0, that is modulus by 2, which is considering the remainder. If the remainder equals to 0, then it says that it's an even number, or it says that it is an odd number, okay. So this is a function which is just written here. So how am I going to use it? Vi test.py. Here I just wrote support.even of even underscore function of 5 I have called. So similarly, now I can call it another time, okay. So you can make sure that you can just, if you want to, you can try it out in this way. So just try to take rather than giving a fixed input, read an input from command line and pass it as an argument to a function and see how it could be done. You can understand, right? So take it as a function, take it as read that value from command line and pass it as an argument to a function. See how you can do it. That's your assignment for the day. Okay. So once it said it is an odd number and second time it said it is an even number, because first time it is 5 and second time it is 4. Okay. So this is how we import a Python module. So there are different ways of doing and importing a Python module. So first one is the way in which I told you, with the import statement in this way. So import module 1, module name, and second one. Okay. So now if we don't want to import entire module and then search for a function inside it, but rather you import only the specific function which you want, okay. So here let's say FIB is the module and Fibonacci is the function. Have from FIB import Fibonacci, okay. So use the following statement, okay. So let's see how it actually works. From support import start. So it will import everything. It should work fine. Let's see. This is one way again. Okay. Okay. Good. So let me tell you now what has happened. So earlier I said import support. Okay. I just said import support. So it is importing module support. So how am I accessing a function inside it? In support dot, that is module dot, the function name. That is one way, first way. Second way is from support import all, import star. Okay, I said import everything. And how are you going to call a function? Here you are directly going to use a function in the way normally how we call a function. We are going to use it. We are not going to add the module name, prefix the module name before the function call with a dot. Okay. So here you're saying print function, even function, whatever you say. So but now I don't want to import all of them, but I want to import only one function. Okay, let's say print function I want to import. I don't want to import the even function. It will throw an error, but how am I going to do? Import print function. Okay. So I didn't say import star, but I said import print function. So just leave the down part. It has imported the test function and printed, print function and printed Zara. But here I said even function. It says even function is not defined. It is, yes, it is nowhere defined in this file and it is not even imported from anywhere. That is the reason why it is saying that even function is not defined anywhere, right? So the first way I'm just importing module name, import Fibonacci, and if you want to import another one, comma, whatever it is, print underscore function and even underscore function, you can import both of them. Okay. So another way is import star, which imports everything. Okay. So you're clear with these three styles of importing, right? So you can use it as per your requirement. If you have a necessity to import everything, import all the functions, you can use import star or just import module. Okay. So or else if you want to import only one, you can go ahead and do it. Import space the module name as well. Locating modules. Okay. So when you import a module, the Python interpreter searches for the module in the following sequence. Okay. So it says how it is going to search. Actually, I'm just trying to import a module, but I'm not saying from where it has to import, right? So how is it going to search is, it searches the current directory first. If it doesn't find in the current directory, default when Python is installed, there is a Python path set to it. Okay. So it goes ahead and searches in the Python path. If at all it is not found there also, it will check on the Unix default path, that is user local lib / python / something. So if at all you want to, if at all you want your module to be imported without specifying, so from what do you say, /home/programs. No, it's not the, I'm not running it from the current directory because it is there in programs. Okay, /programs/support, import something. It is, if at all it is in the same directory, I can just use it, import the module name. So if at all I want to make sure that there is no problem and which will be encountered whenever this module, that I want it to be running smoothly without any problem to be facing, that module is not found in the path. So in such scenario we have to write it either in the current directory, in the default Python path, or in the Unix path, that is user local lib Python /Python. So in this folder, any of these places it is there, what is there? Your module is there, it will be automatically imported without specifying the module path. Okay. So there is a dir function, or it's a built-in one. The dir built-in function returns a sorted list of strings containing the names defined by a module. The list contains the name of all modules, variables, functions, events. For example, it says, I've imported math, and content equals to dir of math, print content. Let's see what is it going to do. So what is it doing is, so I've written user bin Python import math, content is equals to dir of math and print content. Okay. So when I called dir of math, it returns a sorted list of strings containing the names defined by a module. Okay. So whatever names that are defined inside a module, it is trying to return you. So what are the functions which are defined inside math? Inside math we have a cos, a sine, pi, rho, square root, tan, sin, whatever you have it. So we will replace it with our module name. Okay. So what is our module name? Support. It returns. Okay. So it returns you what are the things which are defined inside it? Even function and print function. Okay, it is return you even function and print function. Okay. So if you want to know what all are the functions defined inside a module, you can use dir command. Okay. So this is all about Python modules. Okay. So clear so far? We have files and file operations followed by exceptions and classes and inheritance. Okay. So we'll go ahead with it in next session. Okay. Any doubts so far?
No, fine.
Chalo. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Chalo then. See you in tomorrow's class. Just try to complete all the assignments whatever I've given you earlier. If you have any doubts, please do ask me. You can tell me that if you're clear with that, and if you're able to do it, I'll give you few more a few more programs or few more scenarios to practice actually. Okay. Chalo then. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.